The U.S. birth rate has fallen to its lowest point in more than a century. The U.S. birth rate fell 4% last year. That's the largest single-year decrease in nearly 50 years, according to a CDC report released last week. The total fertility rate is well below the replacement level. Experts say the coronavirus pandemic contributed to the big decline, with some warning this could lead to a demographic disaster. Joining us now to discuss over Skype is Stephen Mosher, president of the Population Research Institute. Stephen, welcome back. How concerned are you about this report that the U.S. has its lowest birth rate on record?
Well, Catherine, I'm very concerned because a few years ago we were almost at replacement. All of us, whatever group we belong to, we're all having close to 2.1 children, which is what you need for what we call replacement rate fertility. Now we have below replacement levels, surprisingly, meaning that more people die every day than are being born. To put it another way, we're filling more coffins than cradles each year. That's a sad fact. It does not bode well for the future of the United States. And it's not what I expected. I expected a kind of baby, well, if not a baby boom, then maybe a baby boomlet, because young couples were staying home. It didn't work out that way.
I think a lot of people were expecting that. You know, the birth rate has been declining in younger women for years now. The pandemic is likely playing a role this past year in what we saw. But Stephen, what other factors do you think contributed to this?
Well, starting with the pandemic, if you lock everybody up in their homes, you think that they might be a little friendlier with each other. But if you take away their jobs, if you take away their income, all you do is create stress. Having a baby is a long-term prospect, and so you don't want to go into it if your financial prospects aren't secure. And I think that the economy is a big driver here. We simply have to make it possible for young couples to feel financially secure. And one way you do that is by sequestering them from taxes. You stop imposing taxes on young couples who are willing to have children. And I would argue that a young couple that's willing to have 2 or 3 children shouldn't be paying income tax, shouldn't be paying Social Security tax, because they're really raising the next generation of Americans. They're providing for the future of America in the most fundamental way.
And can you help us connect the dots? Why could a declining birth rate in the United States today spell potential disaster for our future?
Well, it's young people who drive the economy forward. It's young people who buy homes and cars as consumers. It's young people who have their long time horizons, so they invest for the decades, not just for an instant quarterly return. They start businesses at higher rates than elderly people. People, once they approach retirement, stop consuming, they start saving. They're not really drivers of the economy. You need young people, innovative young people, well-educated young people to drive the economy forward, to make technological breakthroughs and to improve lives for not only their family, but for their community and for the nation as a whole. And a nation without young people, a nation that's literally dying, is going to be a nation where it's very hard to start a new business. It's very hard to gain market share in a market that's shrinking, whatever goods, whatever widgets you're producing. So everything moves in the wrong direction when you have a dying population. Everything moves in the right direction when you have a young and vigorous population.
Stephen, we only have about a minute left. I know Japan has had a declining population for years. What's been the impact there?
Well, the impact there is they're in a long-term demographic recession. They entered into it almost 30 years ago. I said demographic recession. Demography is destiny. You know, the Japanese have been averaging 1.3, 1.4 children for 2 generations now, and they simply, over the next few years, are going to be losing more and more people each year. In fact, they did projections that by the year 3000, there will only be 500 Japanese left. Now, I don't think that we know what's going to happen in the year 3000. But the point of the study was, if you don't have children, you have no future. You're compromising your future. You're killing off your future.
Well, I hope that more and more people are starting to wake up to this and sound the alarm. But in the meantime, I am so grateful for your expertise and your insight. Stephen Mosher, president of the Population Research Institute, thank you.
Thank you.